Listener's note, warning. This show is loaded with gist so powerful, it might just push you into a relationship and straight down the aisle. If you're not ready to hear wedding bells and say yes, say yes, say yes, say yes, listen at your own risk. Edgar doesn't lie. Check Edgar out. Okay. It's my wedding day. The hall is decorated. Everyone looks amazing with beautiful dresses. And there I am, standing at the altar, sweating like a he-goat. No one told me the ACs were not working. My suit is tight, too tight. I don't know who told this tailor to make it this tight. I feel choked, like this bow tie is killing me. I look around, trying to spot my bride. And just when I catch a glimpse of her, I see her veil and her beautiful eye in the distance. I blink. I don't know who this woman is. I blink and blink again. I keep blinking for like 5 seconds till I find myself in my secondary school. Now, I'm standing in my old secondary school, right in front of the assembly ground, still in this ridiculous suit and useless bow tie. All my classmates are there, laughing, pointing at me as if my wedding attire is some kind of costume. I hear the principal calling me out over the loudspeaker.
Edgar, come to my office now!
And I start running, but my legs feel heavy and my shoes are too big, they won't leave the ground. I try, but I feel stuck. I bend to untie the shoelaces, and just when I feel free, I slip and fall into a pool. But this isn't your regular pool. It's big, really big, like the Olympic-sized pool. But there isn't water in this pool. It's filled with spaghetti. Yes, spaghetti pool. And I'm swimming through it. I'm trying to reach the other side. I look up and there's this lifeguard on duty. A goat. Just casually standing there with sunglasses on, nodding at me like this is all perfectly normal. And I'm just wondering, like, who actually employed a goat as a lifeguard? What kind of swimming pool is this? So I keep swimming, but when I finally pull myself out of the spaghetti pool, I am no longer wet. Then I realize I was never wet. Now I'm walking down the beach, but it's not sand beneath my feet. It's red carpet. The sun is shining bright, but it's low current. 1 minute it wants to rain, the next the sun wants to kill me. You know how Lagos sun can be sometimes. And then, out of nowhere, I feel the tap on my shoulder. I turn around, and it's my grandma, wearing a lab coat, holding a plier and a pack of balloons. She looks at me, dead serious, and says, "Remember, Edgar, the price of plantain just went up. Be careful, my son." I'm confused because she's meant to be dead. What is she doing here? She blows air into the balloon and puts me inside it. I begged her to stop, but she wouldn't listen. Then suddenly I'm falling, free falling from the sky. I think I will die. I can't breathe. My face is just turning purple. My stomach is by my throat. Help me, help me, help me. Please, 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 yeah! Until finally, I wake up. My room's dark. God punish Nepal. These people are overdoing it these days. My ceiling fan won't stop singing to me. Every other thing is just as I left it. My heart is still racing. And I'm lying there just wondering if I just dreamed all of that or I'm losing my mind for real. Hey, it's morning. And I better get to work before my Oga starts his wahala. Oh God, how did I oversleep? So I get up, dash to the bathroom, get dressed, and head to the bus stop, trying to shake off that wild dream. Now, I'm at the bus stop, standing hopeless and homeless at the bus station, waiting for the right bus to take me to Lagos Island. I hate downfall buses. I hate them like mad. I can't wait to get a car. Danfo buses are filled with mad people. If the Danfo driver isn't driving mad, the conductor is conducting mad, or the passengers are passing mad. And on a bus where everyone is fine, you become the mad person. While waiting at the bus stop, this lady crosses the bridge to my side and stands beside me. God, she's too beautiful to be entering Danfo bus. I really wish I had a car, so I could just tell her to hop in. But I am equally broke, and my heart is broken. She has this bright eyes and looks at me like she knows me from somewhere. I take a closer look at her face, and she looks familiar, like I know her from somewhere too. Wait a minute. Wait. She looks like the bride I saw in my dream last night. She looks like the one. God, I am not blinking this time. Oh wait, is this real? Or am I still having that wild dream? Now, here's the thing. The story I'm about to share happened to me sometime in 2021. I think in February or March. Everything you're about to hear is true. The names, the scenarios, and the stories. A friend of mine helped me reenact the voices of the lady in the story. Alright? Enjoy. Check Edgar out. Check. This is a Check Edgar production. A Check Edgar production. This is for the single guys and the single ladies. Edgar doesn't lie. Why am I still single? Still single. Why am I still? I want a wife and a family. This kind of life is not right for me. I told my guys how things can be. When I fall in love, I fall for real. I know you want me, don't waste my time. I want a girl that is set and fine. I'm going crazy, so please be mine. God, please, why? This isn't the first time I've seen someone this beautiful at a bus stop. Lagos is filled with beautiful faces, different types, different stories. But this was different. You know why? Because last night, I dreamt about her. I remember her eyes in the dream. Yeah, dreamt. And now here she is, same face, same hauntingly beautiful eyes. And I'm standing there wondering, is this God showing me a sign? Or am I losing my mind? Either way, I have to talk to her. But how? What do I even say? My only prayer in that moment was simple. Let us be going in the same direction. Just let us get the chance to be on the same bus. So maybe, just maybe, I'll get the chance to sit beside her, find something to say, anything. A few minutes later, a bus pulls up. Obalinde, that's my boss. We're quite a crowd waiting, and so of course it is the usual madness. Everyone is rushing, pushing, shoving to get a seat. She's rushing too. She slips into the bus and I follow. But guess what? I didn't get the chance to sit next to her. She went to go and sit at the back. Not just the back, back, like last row. And I got a small space in front. So now I'm sitting here thinking, there goes my chance. How do I talk to her now? She's too far. No eye contact, no casual small talk, nothing. And just as I'm about to give up, something happened. Oh yeah, I am Muji Jade. Bring your money sharp, from back to front. Classic Lagos bus conductor, ruthless, ugly looking with their zero patience. He's collecting fares, one after the other. And then, I notice her. She's struggling. Her face. Those same beautiful eyes, they look different now. Anxious. She's panicking. Her hands fumble with nothing. And that's when I realized she didn't bring her purse. She tried to explain to the conductor, voice trembling, telling him that she left her wallet at home. And he is furious. You know how they get now? Angry, loud, embarrassing, mad. Eh? You forget your wallet for us. Now so now they always do. You know one pay or there. You know one pay. You go pay who? The other passengers, they don't believe her. They think she's lying. A scam to get a free ride. I mean, it's possible. People pull these stunts every other day in Lagos. But I don't think she's lying. I can see it. I can feel it. It's in her eyes. Those same eyes that made me believe she was real in the dream are now telling me a different story. She's scared and embarrassed. Why would someone like her, I mean, a woman so graceful, so striking, not have 500 naira to pay? Haba now, come on guys, come on. I can't explain it, but I know she's telling the truth. So I did the only thing I can do. I paid for her. The conductor looks at her with annoyance, then at me. He snatches the money from my hand as if I'm the reason why his shirt is torn and dirty. No thank you, no acknowledgement, nothing. But that's not why I did it anyway. She looks up, finally meeting my eyes. Her lips part slightly, like she's about to say something, but the words don't come out right away. Instead, there's this pause, a long, quiet moment where it feels like the world around us fades, and it's just her and those beautiful eyes.
Thank you.
Simple, quiet, but it's the way she says it, like she means it, like no one's ever done this for her before. And I just nod, try not to make it obvious that I'm falling in love with her. I mean, my future wife. But inside I am jumping and smiling like a fool, celebrating like Arsenal just won the Champions League. Now I'm sitting here, trying to play it cool. I want to say something else, maybe ask her for her name and find out where she's headed. But she's all the way at the back, and I don't want to shout across the bus like some early morning preacher. Then the bus slows down. We're getting closer to Obalinde. The city's noise grows louder outside the windows, the streets alive with the chaos of Lagos morning. And then, as if fate has a sense of humor, the bus just jerks to a stop, sudden, rough. Obalinde, Obalinde, if you drop, I come down, oh, yeah, bole. Obalinde, Obalinde. I take a quick look at her. I can see she's gathering her things about to come down. Omo, I didn't think twice. I got off at the same time. Something must kill a man. Not like I have anything serious to do at work anyway. We both step out into the chaos. She looks around, confused for a second. And then, she turns to me.
Hey you, thank you so much for saving me on the bus. I don't know how I forgot it, but you're indeed a lifesaver.
See me blushing like a fool. I looked at her and said, "What's your name?"
Oh, my name is Vision, but most people call me V.
I was confused. You mean your parents named you Vision? She said yes. I asked again, are you sure they are your biological parents? She laughed this time and said yes. So I pulled up my phone and smiled. Let's exchange numbers now. What do you think? I said, trying to sound casual. I mean, just in case you need help with another bus fare another day. You never can tell. She laughed softly, and we swapped numbers. But then, this is where it gets wild. The madness started. She looked at me and said,
You know, I've seen this before.
Seen what? I asked, trying not to sound like she had said something strange.
This exact moment.
She said,
It happened in a dream I had weeks ago. I saw you pay for me on the bus and you even asked for my number. You're wearing the exact shirt you wore in the dream.
Now, what do you even say to that? I just laughed. And I said it must be one of those deja vu moments. She smiled, but she didn't seem like she was joking.
Maybe,
she said softly. I asked where she was headed, And to my surprise, she pointed at the exact building where I walked. Different floors, but the same building. Coincidence? Probably. But my mind couldn't stop replaying her words. I didn't think too much about her dream. I mean, people dream weird stuff all the time, right? Like I had a crazy dream myself last night. Exactly. I know you all have had dreams that do not make perfect sense. So I went to my office, settled in, and sent her a quick text. Just a casual, "Hi, you free for lunch?" She said yes. At about 1:30, we met at the ground floor cafeteria. And that's when things got interesting. We sat down with our food and the conversation started light. She asked my name, where I am from, and the usual small talk. I asked the same, throwing in my classic reply "and you" after every question. It felt easy, comfortable even. Then she hit me with,
"So, do you have any superpowers?"
Okay, I thought for a second and grinned. Well, I've got 3. First, my farts kill flying insects. No jokes, if I eat moi moi, the mosquitoes better run. She laughed so hard, she nearly fell out of her chair, clutching her stomach.
You're lying.
I told her my second superpower was that I knew how to eat without getting fat. That one runs deep in my family because my parents are slim, my sister is slim, I am slim. My younger brother isn't just slim, he is Slim Pro Max Plus. How God did it for us is a testimony on its own. No matter what I eat, at best, I have fat cheeks. But from the top of my neck to the sole of my feet, nothing. She was laughing so loud that she had to drink water in order not to choke. Lastly, I told her I have been single since 2018 and that at first it was a problem for me, but now I consider it a superpower. She didn't laugh at this point. She just looked at me and smiled. "So what about you?" I asked. "Do you have any superpower?" She thought for a moment, pretending she didn't expect the question.
"Well, I have 2.
Her first superpower, dreams. She said she dreams things before they happen. 70% of the time, she said, they come true.
Like how I dreamed you'd pay for me on the bus?"
She added, and my stomach flipped a little. I tried to keep my face neutral, but then she told me about the second superpower.
"I can read your palm and tell you your future sometimes."
Now, I wanted to laugh. I really did, but the laughter, it stayed stuck in my throat. "You can see my future?" I asked, trying to sound casual.
"It's been happening since 2010. I first noticed it when I dreamt of my dad's death. Armed robbers came. I saw it all. I saw how they shot him 5 times. Even the shirt he wore, I begged him not to wear it that day, but it happened."
By then, I'd already even lost my appetite completely. I asked her how the palm reading thing started, and she smiled like it was nothing.
"Sometimes God shows me things,"
she said.
"It's random, but when I hold someone's palm, I just see."
My body went cold. I didn't even know what to say. I just muttered, "Nice shoes," and changed the subject. Food prices were too high to let this meal go to waste. Oh boy, I finished everything. We went back to our separate floors and agreed to head home later together. We kept texting, chatting, talking about life. But those dreams, those visions, they stuck with me, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something about her wasn't entirely normal. Every day we spoke on the phone, she had a new dream to share, every single day. And it wasn't just those random, quirky dreams where you show up to a class in your underwear or someone giving you party jollof in the dream. No, her dreams were dark, frightening, intense. Honestly, they made me question her spirituality a lot. I would listen, half worried, half fascinated. Like this one time, she called me and said,
"I had a dream last night. You were there, but you weren't alive.
What?
You were lying in a coffin, but it wasn't a funeral. No one was crying. Instead, there were birds, black birds, just circling above you. And then they all disappeared at once and your eyes opened.
Oh, okay, great. So now I am Bedman.
No, it wasn't funny, Edgar. It felt real, like a warning.
You see what I mean? Every dream was like that, so heavy like she was living in some twisted horror movie. Because of this girl, I would drink anointing oil before I sleep at night, after I wake up in the morning to purify myself from the visions and her dreams. Another day, she called me with a different one.
This time, it wasn't about you. It was about me.
Fantastic. So, what did you see this time?
I was walking down a dark street, barefoot. Everything was silent. Too silent. Then I heard it. Footsteps behind me. I couldn't see who it was. I started running, but no matter how fast I ran, the footsteps got closer.
So, did you turn around?
No, I couldn't. I was too scared. But then, I woke up. And the scariest part?
What?
When I woke up, I could still hear footsteps.
Now, I did not know whether I should tell her to see a pastor or a therapist. But every time, those eyes, the same eyes I first saw on the bus, would stare back at me, even through the phone. And I couldn't help but believe, maybe, just maybe these dreams were more than just dreams. We would continue after the short break. We'll be right back. Edgar doesn't lie. Check Edgar out. Promo. Tired of waking up in the morning to a lonely bed? Has your pillow been giving you the silent treatment? Are you tired of rewatching old romantic movies, wondering when it would finally be your turn to fall in love while walking in the rain hand in hand with your soulmate? Well, we have absolutely nothing to solve your problem. In fact, I'm here to offer you nothing. No miracle cure, no magic potion, nothing. Not even a free t-shirt. Just the smooth, buttery sound of my voice. But if you have a business, a product, or even a secret family recipe for jollof rice that you think the world needs to know about, here is your chance. Until I get real sponsors and actual products, you will have to endure these silly ads. But you can change that. Yes, you can be the hero of this podcast by sponsoring an episode. Send me an email to edgar@checkedgar.com if you want to hear your business being advertised in the smoothest, most handsomely voiced way possible. Until then, well, brace yourself. Checkmates, this is what you get. Okay. Even after all she said, I tried to convince myself it wasn't a big deal. Maybe, just maybe she was just, different. Not everyone who dreams or read palms is some mysterious spirit, right? But something about her stuck with me. Outside her dreams, she was a go-getter, brilliant, beautiful, and respected my values, even though every logical part of me screamed to keep my distance. At the end of the workday, we met at the building entrance as we planned. She stood there, smiling, waiting for me like nothing about our lunch had been weird. We walked to the bus stop, talking about normal stuff like, work stress, bad bosses, traffic, Lagos. She loved peppery jollof rice and had this weirdest obsession with old Nollywood movies. She made me laugh. No, Vision was funny. And I liked her a lot, way more than usual. I almost forgot about the dreams. Almost. One Friday, we were sitting on a bench outside the building, watching the sunset. She was quiet, too quiet. I asked her what was wrong. Shebi, if I had known, I wouldn't have asked. She looked at me for a moment. It felt like her eyes weren't looking at me. They were looking through me.
I had another dream,
she said softly. I smiled, trying to keep things light. I tried to crack a joke, but she didn't laugh. She reached out and grabbed my hand. Her grip was firm, colder than I expected.
You were in it,
she whispered.
It wasn't like the others.
I swallowed hard. What do you mean? Her voice dropped lower, almost trembling.
There was water. So much water. Edgar, you were drowning.
Well, I can't swim, so maybe you're just seeing a worst case scenario. She shook her head, her grip tightening.
It wasn't just water. There was someone else there. Someone pulling you under.
Quick, I pulled my hand away trying to laugh it off. But my heart was pounding. It's just a dream, I said. Dreams don't mean anything. She looked at me, eyes wide, serious.
Sometimes they do.
I didn't know what to say. After reciting Psalm 23 in my mind, something was just telling me to cut her off immediately. But another part of me wanted her closer. That night, I laid awkward in bed, staring at the ceiling. Every time I closed my eyes, I imagined water. Cold, dark water, and her voice telling me I was drowning. Was it just a dream? Or something more? After that night, I hoped things would go back to normal. But with her, normal never stayed for too long. The dream kept coming. Every morning she would call or text, and every time it was something darker, more vivid. One time I got a text. I saw us walking home last night, but you didn't make it back. I texted back immediately. I am sure you were going the wrong way. She didn't reply. By the time I saw her at the bus stop, her face looked pale and tired, like she hadn't slept at all. I asked if she was okay, but she just stared at me with those same eyes, the ones that always seemed to hold the truth I wasn't ready to hear. She finally said,
"In my dream, you were followed and you got caught."
Now I was worried true because if I was being chased, they would easily catch me because of my chicken legs. My heart started to panic. I told myself it was just a dream. But later that evening, as we walked home together, something happened. It was quiet, too quiet, and I felt it. A presence like we weren't alone. Then, footsteps. Slow, deliberate, behind us. We both stopped, turned around. There was no one there. I wanted to laugh it off, say it was nothing, but she grabbed my hand, her fingers trembling.
"This was how it started in the dream."
She whispered, "If you see the way I ran, Usain Bolt will learn that night." I should have stopped seeing her. I should have just deleted her number. But I didn't. I couldn't. There was something about her, something that just made me stay, even when every instinct told me to go. I told myself it was curiosity. Maybe it was the way she looked at me like I was the only one who could understand her. Maybe it was her laugh. Maybe it was her eyes, the way it lit up even the darkest moment. Or maybe I was just afraid of what I would find if I walked away. I didn't know it then, but that was the moment I crossed the line. And there was no going back. The next day, I convinced myself I was just overthinking it. Dreams and reality blur sometimes, right? I mean, everyone has a moment where life feels like deja vu. But then, something happened that I couldn't ignore. We were on our way home, same path, same time. She was unusually quiet, her eyes looking around, and I could feel the tension building. We crossed the street, and just as we reached the other side, she grabbed my arm.
"Wait,"
she whispered.
"This is where it happens."
I pulled back. "Where what happens?" She looked at me, wide eyes.
"You'll see."
I laughed nervously, brushed her off and kept walking. But a few steps ahead, it happened. A car drove towards our direction at full speed. Before I could say Cristiano Ronaldo, something flew out of the open window, a glass bottle. It shattered on the pavement, exactly where we had been standing just seconds before, like it would have hit me if I didn't move. I froze, my heart pounding. She didn't see anything, just stood there, watching me. Her face was pale, but there was no fear in her eyes, only certainty. She knew. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing the sound of the bottle breaking, seeing the way she looked at me. It wasn't just the dreams anymore. It was real, too real. The next day, she called me again, her voice trembling.
"I had another dream."
I didn't want to hear it. Please, 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 please. I said, just not today. Keep your dream to yourself. But she insisted.
It's important, Edgar. You need to be careful tonight. Someone is watching.
I didn't believe it. I mean, how could I? But when I left the office that night, the feeling was back. That heavy, cold presence. I told myself it was just in my head. Then I saw this guy standing in one corner in the dark. All he said was, "Ace, come here." If you see the way I ran for my life, my body ran left, my soul ran right, my spirit ascended to the sky. After that night, things just changed. I called her and told her never to tell me about her crazy dreams anymore, even if she saw me in it or not. The whole thing was messing with me and I just wanted my life back. She apologized and said she was only trying to help. I told her I understood, but I didn't want to hear her dreams anymore. She went quiet, and I took her silence as her way of saying she agreed. We didn't speak much after that. I mean, life got really busy. Work meetings, deadlines, normal things. At some point, she started avoiding me. She wouldn't even enter the same bus in the morning. Sometimes she would follow someone else home. When I asked her why she was keeping her distance, she said it was the only way out for her, but I never understood that. Sometimes when I'm working home late at night, I feel it, that cold, heavy presence, like someone is watching. Maybe it's just my mind playing tricks on me, or maybe it wasn't all in my head. One day she told me she was relocating to Abuja to join her family, and ever since then, I never saw her again. No text, no calls, nothing. Sometimes she would like my post on Instagram and share it on her story, but she would never comment or reply to any of my direct messages. Every now and then, I catch myself thinking about her. Those eyes that seem to know too much. Those dreams that always felt too real. I wonder if she's okay. If she still dreams of me. Maybe I'll never know. Maybe that's for the best. But every time I board a bus or pass the same bus stop, I can't help but glance around just in case. I know that one day she will say something. One day I'll hear from Vision again. And that's the end of this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with those who are single, dating, married, or confused. Rate the podcast and drop a comment. And yes, you can donate to support the podcast. $3 will go a long way. If you have a story to share, then please send it to me through my email address, edgar@checkedgar.com, or for a quicker response, chat with me with the chat box on my website, www.checkedgar.com. I will respond in 3 hours. I promise you, Edgar doesn't lie. Remember, the podcast ends the day I get married, so don't forget to tell your beautiful friends that Edgar is single and would love to go on a date with her. If that lady is you, then send me a message to my email address at edgar@checkedgar.com. Edgar doesn't lie. Check Edgar out. See you guys next week Friday.